Good afternoon, Charlie. How the devil are you?
I'm very well, Paul. Very well. I was thinking of the other night in that strange place.
Yeah,
that strange Spurs Man City game.
I left you on Tuesday heading off to the game, and I was completely expecting a sort of surreal atmosphere. It wasn't quite as surreal as I expected. I think in the moment, you just kind of get lost in it, and you're watching your team play. You know, you're contesting marginal decisions. You're getting upset when, you know, players are penalised for giving away free kicks you didn't think were. You don't completely shut off.
No.
It was a bit like the Tottenham crowd, slightly with a handbrake.
There wasn't much singing, was there? I didn't hear much Come On You Spurs till towards the end.
There were some quite raucous ones, but dotted around them were sort of Arsenal-related songs, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, all the talk was of Ange, and it's now going to be very interesting when he does his press conference tomorrow. He's not one for backing down. I think dealing with him must be quite difficult because sometimes you feel like you can catch him in the right moment. You've got him in the right moment.
Yeah.
But Joe Pesci in Goodfellas, funny how? Do you know what I mean? You might just suddenly say, "Oh, Ange, you're so funny," and he might say, "Funny how, mate?"
What do you mean, mate?
I amuse you, do I?
Yeah, like that.
Do you know, I just think there is that. You don't
Australian
quite know
Goodfellas. I'm absolutely here for that.
Yeah, you don't quite know when he's going to turn. And I think a few things happened. That guy behind him who said, you know, keep more about beating City than you do winning the games against Arsenal. And he bet on that. So that didn't help. Yeah, the crowd not being quite at it. I mean, but in that moment when Sonny's one-on-one...
When Sonny was through, and that I was watching it with my wife, and I said, that is it's all up for grabs now moment. You know, it really was that moment. But, and then, of course, he missed on purpose, Paul. We all know he missed on purpose. I saw Robbie on Arsenal TV suggest that. The trouble is, normally, Sonny would be the player that you'd bet your life on. Yeah,
if you had to have someone one-on-one for your life, he would be the guy. Yeah. But he's not been playing particularly well recently. He's been off it. And if you look at his performances over the last few games, it wasn't a massive surprise that it was saved.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Ange does tomorrow. I think in the moment...
Resign?
No. I think in the moment he was angry.
Yeah.
And kind of went into a narrative that he probably wishes, if he was honest, he didn't go down in light of the Conte stuff before, because it's opened up a can of worms.
Bit of that, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, if it's
saying
true
that there's problems at the club,
there was probably a few people at the club going around, a little bit of gallows humour out of a game like that, and he's heard something and he's sort of bit on it, and he makes it, you know, because he wants to win.
Yeah.
I don't believe it was premeditated. I don't believe anybody goes in and effectively sits down and says, I'm a winner and you're not, when you've lost, up until that game last night, 4 out of 5 matches, many of them quite heavily against rival clubs. So don't you go in and do that. It would be mad. But I just think in the moment, lost his rag a bit. And, you know, and small club mentality is a phrase I've heard a lot over the few days. Been a lot of pontificating. It's a beautiful subject, broadsheet tabloid, social media to pontificate on, which I completely understand. And it was interesting that Ange Postecoglou only said a couple of weeks ago, or 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they said there might be people who want you to lose the Arsenal game. And he said, well, I've got no control out of that. People can feel how they like.
Yeah.
He didn't double down and rail against that. He just sort of brushed it away.
Yeah.
But I think in this week it irritated him. For whatever reason, there might be a whole bunch of things going on at the club that irritate him.
The problem you've got as Spurs fans is it seems to be quite fun for fans to pick on Spurs.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, but, you know...
People seem to quite enjoy it, Paul.
Well, we haven't won anything since 2008. And that small club mentality, if you want to aim that...
Yeah.
If you're a Tottenham fan, you have to be honest and say, well, OK, well, maybe we have, but where does that come from? You know, rather than looking down into the stands, you maybe want to have a look in the director's box to where some of that...
There's only one constant,
to where some
there?
of that fatalism comes from. I mean, look, it's a shared responsibility. It might kick everybody up the backside. Who knows? But you cannot control people's feelings. It was just a very odd atmosphere, but it wasn't quite as bad maybe as the picture has been painted. But he clearly thought so, because he felt, had the crowd been at full tilt, they could have got Tottenham over the line to get a win. But I thought they played very well, actually. It was one of their best performances.
I thought they played excellently, actually. Really, really well. They all looked
a bit toothless. I mean, you know, extra man in midfield.
Keeper was great. Keeper was magnificent.
Yeah. No, they just, you know.
So beat Sheffield United Sunday, 5th.
Or draw even.
Yeah. Or even draw it.
What about Chelsea, though? That little run of games has put them right in the box seat.
And he'll be pleased, won't he?
I think so, yeah.
Jolly about
he like
that.
a bit of Conference League football. Yeah. I mean, anything with the word conference in it, I'm not surprised. He probably won't go.
Conference in 5 years.
But anyway, it's all going to unfold on talkSPORT on Sunday afternoon. Should be a fascinating listen with Adrian and the gang. around the grounds. So a couple of things to get you going on today.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen pictures today of Noel Edmonds. He's wearing odd shoes.
Odd shoes.
Yeah,
Do you think it's on purpose, Paul? Sometimes he does these things, doesn't he? He was quite heavy on the cosmic ordering, wasn't he?
You think he's been a bit quirky?
Maybe the cosmic ordering was the fact that he didn't want to wear the same.
Sometimes you
shoes.
can have quite similar shoes and not put them on. But he's wearing one brown brogue and a tan brogue and a brown Chelsea boot.
Lovely.
So it's not like you're lacing up two shoes that could be similar in the dark. You've got one slip on. Surely at one point you think, hang on, I've slipped one shoe on and I've so look, if you look, it's let's have a few odd shoes stories or odd boots. And the trouble is if you wear shoes like that for football or cricket or whatever sport you've played, and you wear odd boots and you go out and play well, you've got to keep wearing them.
Yeah, that's it.
If you go out and score a hat-trick in odd boots, what are you going to do?
Absolutely,
So let's have odd shoes, odd boots, and how it manifested itself. 03717 223344, talksport.com, text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J. The other thing, there was a letter written today by Gary Lilly from South Shields.
Good afternoon, Gary.
To the Sun. I know Andy's not here, so I'll pick up the slack. It's a very quick one. But it starts, boxer Tyson Fury's dad, John, is a big idiot. You probably guessed why, because he kicked off the other day one of Usyk's team. But I just thought, John's a fighting man.
He is a fighting man.
And it does strike me.
Bare knuckle man.
This is Gary Lilly, South Shields. So all I'm saying to you is, Gary, keep looking over your shoulder. And John, he'll get back from Saudi. Yeah. He'll read it, right. And he'll get the train up to South Shields.
It's not far from Morecambe to South Shields, isn't actually that far.
So he'll get off the train and he'll say, hey, are you Gary Lilly? No, mate, sorry, no. Are you Gary Lilly? It'll just be a numbers game.
Just walking around.
Gary Lilly. Do you know Gary Lilly? Are you Gary Lilly? No, I'm Maisie Smith. I'm 49. Sorry, love. Do you know Gary Lilly?
Gary Lilly.
And he'll carry
He's a dosser.
On. Yeah. Tyson said, when are you coming back, Dad? I'm not coming back. I'm staying up here till I found Gary Lilly. So,
are you Gary Lilly?
Yeah, Gary, come on. Give us a quick... No, don't break cover. Don't break... We won't pass your number on. We'll have to disguise his voice. I just like the idea that John stays up there for about a month trying to hunt down Gary Lilly.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely.
I thought it might lead to I somehow tracked them down.
Oh, what a
Some
good
of those
idea,
spurious ways in which you had very little to work with, but you somehow tracked them down.
We haven't got time. I've
just
got
repeatedly,
a story
aggressively shouting, "Are you Gary Lilly?" at people in the street in South Shields.
I bought my wife a very nice birthday present.
Oh, yeah.
And it was delivered to completely the wrong address. Didn't know where it was.
Right.
I got the picture of where it was, some blue doors.
Right.
Thought I'd worked out where it was near me.
Sherlock Baker.
It was on a building site.
Yeah.
Near me. Went on the building site. There was this parcel just in the middle of the building site next to these blue doors. Wow. Found it, Paul. It was the greatest moment of my life. I felt like Sherlock. This was only last week. I felt like Sherlock Holmes.
Well done.
It was amazing.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.